The next thing I want to talk about is essay writing, right? This is the key thing that you have to be able to do to succeed in the class and pass the bar. Of course, you need to answer the multiple choice questions as well. That's really important, but essay writing is a skill you can really work on. Just a little bit of background on the bar exam. The bar exam is created by the National Conference of Bar Examiners. You can get more information, obviously, on the internet. What we have in Washington, D.C. is the uniform bar exam. Most jurisdictions have that. And this is the structure of that UBE, uniform bar exam. We have a performance test, the MPT, that's 20% of your score. There you're going to be writing, could be an essay, could be a memo, could be any number of things. Then we have the essay portion, which is what I'm going to talk about in just a minute. That's 30% of your score. You're going to have 6 short essays, 30 minutes each. And then we have the multiple choice. That's half of your score, and it covers all of the subjects that we cover in the program. So again, I want to focus on essay writing. Essay writing is important because if you combine the MEE, the essay portion, and the MPT, that's 50% of your total score. It's also going to be 50% of your exams in the program, right? So you need to be able to write good essays to be successful. This is something one of our faculty put together. The idea here is, well, there's more than 6 possible subjects that could be tested on an essay. So it's not that you're always going to get a con law essay. You're only going to get a con law essay about half of the time, right? You're only going to get a contracts essay about half of the time. Certain subjects are tested more frequently, like civil procedure, and some less frequently, like torts. But you're not guaranteed to have a con law essay or any particular subject. It really depends. The key thing when you're writing your essay is to have the proper format, right? IRAC, CRAC, these are the acronyms we use to describe that format. What you want to do when you read the question is think through it first, but don't spend too much time. You have to really get a good handle on the pacing so that you are able to complete an essay in 30 minutes and move on, at least for the bar exam. What is really going to be helpful here is practice questions, right? Taking practice questions, writing answers, comparing your answer to the model answer. That is how you improve. And the most important part of this, what's going to get you the most points, is the application of the facts to the rules. So when we're talking about the structure of your writing, this is the structure that we always recommend. Now, the key part that's getting you most of the points is the R and the A, but the I and the C help to make it easier to read and more clear, right? You want to have clear writing on law school exams. So first, your issue statement, you're telling them what you're going to write about before you write about it, right? That's going to flag the issue before you go into the details. They know what they're going to read. Then we have the rule, right? This is the law that governs the situation. So in standing, it would be those 3 elements, right? Injury in fact, causation, redressability. Then we have the application. This is where we say, because of these facts, the rule is or is not met, right? You're combining the facts with the rule. That's the key thing. That's what we're really looking for. Do you understand how the rules work in the real world? And then the conclusion is just going to be the resolution of the issue. There is standing, there is not standing, we have a battery, we have jurisdiction, whatever it is. But don't get confused on this. You're not supposed to write your entire essay as one IRAC. You're supposed to look at each individual issue as an IRAC, right? So what you're really doing when you're writing is creating several mini IRACs. And usually your IRAC, it should be 1 paragraph or multiple paragraphs, but you shouldn't have more than 1 IRAC in a single paragraph. That's where it gets confusing and disjointed and it's hard to see. So for organization, at a minimum, 1 paragraph per IRAC. Maybe you're going to have a paragraph for issue and rule and a separate paragraph for application or something, but make it clear what you're doing. And these slides have a little bit more detail on writing these, right? The issue and conclusion should be very simple. You're essentially just parroting the question back. If the question is there a battery? Well, then you're the call to question. These are slides that were prepared or based on torts. Then your issue statement is simply going to be, under these facts, can you establish a battery? Your rule is then going to be that simple statement of the law. It doesn't need to be terribly complex. And you want to use signals to indicate what you're doing, right? So under the restatement, under the common law, under the Constitution, you're going to tell them this is your rule statement. Start broad and then get more specific, right? So a battery is a harmful or offensive contact. That's your basic definition. Then you have to explain, get more specific. What does harmful mean? What does offensive mean? What is our intent that we need, right? Or for standing, you would have to say, well, these are our three elements, but what does it really mean to be concrete and particularized? You'd want to explain that. Your application, again, is where you're saying, because of these specific particular facts, the rule is or is not met. What you don't want to say is, well, obviously the rule is met, or based on the facts, the rule is met. You want to say, because of fact X, right? The use of the stun device was offensive because there was pain and debilitation, right? You be as specific from the fact pattern as you possibly can be. Then your conclusion, again, is essentially just restating your issue, but you're saying the answer, right? Yes, there was a battery. No, there was not. All right, that is going to conclude it for me, this lecture today. I'm going to turn things over to Dean Ioannidis. And I apologize, I do have to run. I have to take my daughter to school. She had a late start today. And I'm a couple minutes late, so she's bugging me about it. But so I'm going to go take care of that. But if you have any questions, you want to talk about anything in more detail, please feel free to email me anytime. Even if it's a question about something unrelated to these particular programs, feel free to reach out. If it's something about U.S. legal education, or I don't know, the election, Donald Trump, whatever. So I'm happy to respond, and I hope that these programs are of interest to you. I think they're a great opportunity and a good value proposition in terms of your ability to stay home, maybe stay employed, and still get a U.S. legal education and get qualified for the bar. I really don't think you're going to find a more convenient and affordable option, and I hope it's a high quality option as well. I try as hard as I can to ensure that. So, all right, have a good night. Like I said, I'm going to step out, but thank you all for being here.